Okay, top priorities would envision a lot of priorities, but I think the first one that comes to mind is making sure we have properly trained airmen, right place, right time, right capabilities, right numbers as we go through the aftermath of BRAC, as we move forward with the TFI initiatives. We've got to focus on our people. Our people are our greatest asset, and we've got to take care of our airmen. We've got to take care of our families. We've got to take care of our employers as we make that transition. Making sure we have the right people, right place, right time. Another goal, I think, is to make sure as we go into the future and as the Air Force evolves, is to make sure that the Air National Guard is a good, solid wingman. On occasion, we may even take the lead in certain capabilities where it makes sense to do so. But we talk about associate units. There are several different kinds. We talk about the construct of the United States Air Force that I see changing in the years to come. The Air National Guard needs to be in all the mission capabilities that the United States Air Force is in. Our portfolio may have different percentages of those capabilities, but we need to do everything that the United States Air Force does. And in some cases, we will be more heavily invested in certain capabilities than the United States Air Force, so that's a focus. Another focus is maintaining and recognizing the importance of our heritage. We're the oldest fighting force in the history of the country, 372 years. We have differences from the United States Air Force and from the Air Force Reserve, but diversity is good. We do some things extremely well that the Air Force can or doesn't want to do. By the same token, the Air Force, active duty and reserve, can do some things that do not fit well with our cultural heritage. But the main thing is to remember that we're all in the same fight, we're all moving in the same direction, and we all need to be collaborative and partners. And not lastly, but one of our initiatives and one of our focus areas will be, like the Air Force, the recapitalization of our capabilities. We need to recognize that we are a partner with the United States Air Force and the Air Force Reserve. Any new capabilities should be fielded concurrently and proportionally with the Air National Guard. And I think in that regard, I'm trying to, if at all possible, focus the Air Force on mission number one, and that's defense of the homeland. We in the past, and Guard included, have focused overseas as the geographic area of the warfight. And I think since September 11th, we all know that the warfight is here too. So we need to focus our energies, I think, on homeland security, homeland defense. I think challenges that the entire country faces, shrinking revenues, declining physical opportunities. On the one hand, that's a challenge. On the other hand, I'm encouraged because of a couple of things. One is that the United States Air Force, the Reserve, the Air National Guard seem to do well, seem to do good when the chips are down, when things are tough. And so I think that you'll see the force rally again. That I heard in some of the deliberations here at AFA, great point that thoughts, ideas are free, don't cost the country anything. So I think what we've got to do is focus on where we need to go, realizing that the money available may not be what we would all want it to be, but recognizing that and then moving forward with considering different constructs, different ways to take care of the Air Force business, and then getting it done. And I think we can do that. I don't think that we'll be facing anything much differently than we have since 9/11. A lot of people say that we have transitioned to an operational reserve. I like to think we have transitioned to an operational force, but we also need to provide a strategic reserve capacity. I think that the high operations tempo and certain job skills will continue. I continue to marvel and be impressed at the adaptability of our airmen, their families, and their employers. Obviously, the decisions of where and how many troops will be made at a level a lot higher than mine. But I can tell you that the Air National Guard is all in, and we will do what we have always done. When we're called, we'll be there. lot of people don't recognize that Guardsmen take two oaths. One oath to the Constitution of the United States, like our active duty and reserve brothers and sisters do, but a second oath to the Constitution of the respective states in which we reside. And so we do have that additional Homeland Security, Homeland Defense mission, and that's a mission that we do 24 hours a day, 365, never stops, and that's in addition to the overseas warfighting. So that's one of the things that I think sets us apart maybe from the rest of the Air Force, but it's a mission that we will always have because we are forward deployed into 3,300 plus communities across the country. That's one of our strengths. We bring America with us. So regardless of whether the call comes from a governor to handle a natural disaster or a terrorist attack in the continental United States, or whether the call comes from the President, the Air National Guard will be there. We will answer the call. We always have and we always will. Yeah, I think going back to the number one focus in my mind is our people. When you consider that they have the pressures of a job, they oftentimes give up opportunities to advance in their chosen professions to serve their country in the National Guard. And when you consider what their families go through, a lot of times when airmen are mobilized or volunteer, the family income goes down, a lot of circumstances. When you think about the employers that provide living for most of our airmen and what continuous mobilizations and the ops tempo does to those relationships, you got to recognize that there are a lot of patriotic Americans out there, employers and families, but I'm especially proud of our airmen. They have never failed to answer the call, and like I said, never will. Great, great human beings. It may be hurricanes, it may be an earthquake, it may be ice storms like Kentucky just went through, but whatever the challenge, Guardsmen are there. They do that, and they do their civilian job, and they do their military job. I think that's one of the things that makes the Guard so strong is that we have so many civilian acquired skills and such expertise and such a mature force that we can handle the demands of all of those challenges that we face. And I'm extremely proud of the way our folks have stepped up and met those challenges.